Everyone wants to be free, no doubt about that. We want to be doing things that we want to be doing. We want to spend more time with our loved ones. We want to exercise whenever we want. Basically, we want the ultimate freedom, because freedom is part of who we are. But we are never free in this world. At least we won't be free as long as we are dependent and attached to something. And what could this something be? What could draw our attention so much that we have lost our freedom chasing it? It's money. Sometimes we have a nagging feeling that we have no conscious control over our lives. Sometimes we feel we haven't truly unleashed our true potential. Sometimes we feel we have no freedom whatsoever. Sometimes, when we wake up every morning before going to work, it feels like we are better off dead than living a meaningless life over and over again. These are not merely bouts of depressions that suddenly come out of nowhere. There are valid reasons for these feelings, and mostly they are unconscious. And because they are unconscious, these feelings of meaninglessness and futility are usually not addressed fully. They are keenly felt, but never deeply analyzed and resolved. The main reason for this is money. To be more precise, it's money slavery that makes us nauseous at the prospect of living another day of a meaningless life. Just imagine this. If money is no problem, we won't be working in the same job we are working in right now. If money is no problem, a coal miner won't be a coal miner. Unless, of course, being a coal miner is a dream job for someone. But that's quite unlikely. If money is no problem, a factory worker won't feel the need to work in factories. He will prefer to do something else. If money is no problem, someone will stop going to the office job he hates so much to work with a boss he dislikes even more. To sum it up, money is the single controlling force in our life. Yes, we all need money to survive. We need money to keep food on the table. We need money for shelter. We need money to pay off the bills. We need money for all kinds of things. But when money has become this giant monster in the room that it is today, we really need to think more seriously on how to make ourselves independent of money. Because if we don't, we will waste away our entire lives working for someone else's dreams. And our lives are too important to be living this way. So basically, there are two approaches on how to be independent of money and live freely without money controlling our lives all the time. The first one's the most logical one, and one that most people are doing right now, which is to get rich quickly and climb to the top of the money ladder as quickly as possible. Once we have reached the top, then we will have all the money in the world to satisfy all of our desires and fulfill our constant need for pleasures. This seems to be the most reasonable approach, because everyone seems to be doing it, and when everyone's doing it, the path is safe and certain. But this approach could be excessively goal-oriented, with getting rich as quickly as possible becoming an obsession. There's a possibility that we could be blinded by the destination so much that we justify any means possible that can take us there. It's possible that we manipulate our customers to reap the most profits. It's possible that we get into an ethically unsound line of work. It's possible that we completely lose sight of what's important in our lives by working too hard and spending too much time away from our family. There's every possibility we fall into a trap that we can never escape from. I mean, do you want to be doing work that's not aligned with your values, only to find regrets later in your life? Do you want to be working all the time until your death? And if you become rich and have unlimited amount of money in the end, can you accept the possibility of enjoying all these riches when you are too old to do anything? Of course, it's possible to spend 40 to 50 years working hard trying to get there, only to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor in the last few remaining years of our lives. The trade-off seems unreasonable and illogical if we really think about it. So, what to do? Well, there's another approach that runs counter to the mainstream materialist culture. It's the minimalistic lifestyle of spending less. To achieve financial freedom, basically the amount of spending needs to be equal with the amount of revenue. If the spending is bigger than the revenue, we are broke. If the revenue is bigger than the spending, we achieve financial security. In the more traditional and more materialistic approach, we completely ignore our spending, approve every desire for pleasures and entertainment, and simply work as hard as possible to generate revenue that at least matches the expenditure. But the minimalist approach is the opposite. Rather than working hard and maximizing our revenue, instead we focus our attention in reducing unnecessary spending like TV shows, expensive nights out at restaurants, partying, cinemas, and so on. Basically, you are working hard at cutting down on your spending so that you can work less. When you're spending so low, then perhaps you might want to rethink your career. Perhaps you might have the urge to leave that job that's financially rewarding, but ultimately one that you hate so much. Perhaps now you might go for the more adventurous, more meaningful, and more fun career that you have always wanted to do if money is no longer a problem for you. Basically, you are trading off your trivial desires for your life. To make this lifestyle work, we need to learn how to kill off some of our human desires. Desires like sex, alcohol, and parties are considered trivial and shouldn't be indulged, because these are expensive desires. This way, besides our financial conditions, our spiritual life will improve also, because we manage to rein in on our desires and never let them take control of our life, which is the case in modern society. Certainly, there are things that we have to sacrifice and old comfort zones that we need to leave. But we need to remember that this all plays to the bigger picture of us achieving financial freedom and taking charge of our life. If you like this idea, don't worry, you don't have to jump straight away. Jumping straight away is rather foolish because you will face lots of ego backlashes. Every time you're making a change in your life, the alarm system in your body will be triggered, and you will face lots of inner resistance that will sabotage your whole attempt if you don't tread the water carefully. Instead, the smarter way is to make gentle transitions. For instance, you might need to stay on in the current job and increase your savings before eventually moving on. Perhaps you might need to do some research on that dream job you have always wanted to do and learn new skills relevant to it in your free time. Perhaps you might need to go look for a house in the countryside. Perhaps you might need to replace your old destructive habits, such as drinking, with new healthier ones, like taking a stroll in the park. If you decide to go this route, also be prepared to be alienated by the society, including your own family. Because this approach is so different to what everyone else is doing, there's every chance people will think you have gone crazy. But never mind that. As Jiddu Krishnamurti once pointed out, it's no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. Likewise, the point of life is not trying to be the exact same copies to everyone else, trying to replicate what everyone else is doing. The point of life is to unleash our own ideas of how we should live our lives and pursue those great ambitions and dreams of ours. Thank you for watching.